right here's the Phoenix Center for the Arts. They've got a summer art camp going, and I think that's an old church. I don't think it's in use, and then there's another church there. Again, apartments. Now we're starting to get into downtown, and some of these churches are old churches, but then you can see that in downtown there's a lot of new construction going on. This is a neat area. Roosevelt Row has a lot of history to it. I mentioned that the sidewalks, some of them were laid before the state was even officially a state, which I want to say is 48th state. So this is all part of Roosevelt Row. You can see a lot of the graffiti, like that cool dragon, lion, whatever. Hopefully this isn't that one way. All right, I'm just marking one of these. Some of the history behind Roosevelt Row. So Roosevelt Row was here, like I said before, state became a state, and it was a thriving economy up through the 40s. It really started to thrive, and then in the 70s, they faced some downsizing and some speculation because some of the thoroughfares that Arizona wanted to put through caused the property to decline. They went through some pretty hard times through the 70s, and then a bunch of artists, which is what you're seeing now with all these murals all over the walls and on the building. They came in and they started making studios down here because the property was cheap, and they basically are probably the reason that Roosevelt Row has been restored to the area that it is, and now it's nationally, and some could say internationally, known for arts and cultural events. And there's a lot going on in here that you got to be looking around. Like you wouldn't know it by looking at it, but that's an ale house. It's a brewery, probably a microbrewery would be my guess, but it's an ale house. ASU's got some stuff here. You see downtown is right here. You got Freeport and McMoran. There's some other ASU building, an ASU building. You got the old tower there, Westwood. So this is a really poppin' spot for variety of stuff. This is the film bar that we just walked past with the mural, and it's a lounge and art house cinema. So you can see a movie, which you see here. They're doing Sundance movies are weird. So we parked on a side street, but this is Roosevelt here. And again, you're seeing the murals, even on that's probably out of business, but you got a little mural. It's like Bob Marley there. You got a restaurant over here, tattoo joint. You got whatever this is. And that's a mural on the side of this. So again, it's going to be eclectic and very artsy. If you look down this way, you can tell the new buildings, and even the new buildings, they're incorporating some artistic work on the sides of the new buildings. You can see the birds are themed going all the way through, and then we come down into another mural wall. That's the way for traffic. Kind of cool, again, and you just got to drive around. This is one of those areas that you got to drive around and look. But there's another gallery right back there that if you weren't paying attention, you'd probably miss it. Even the street signs are kind of artsy. So you got a public market, a pizzeria, a rum bar, and then a breakfast joint, all that way. All right, so remember I pointed out that the new architecture is even incorporating the birds and arts and stuff. If you scroll down, you'll see that this old building, which is clearly much older, continues that bird theme all the way over, and then you run into another mural wall. And this one looks like it's a little more of the Indian heritage, the Native American heritage. Kind of neat. Anyways, so I'm closing out my Roosevelt Row section of the tour. as we come into the ASU, this is Fillmore. There's a classic Chevy truck with the USA flag on the back. But you know, Roosevelt Row is definitely artsy, and there's a lot of eclectic restaurants and galleries and things like that. And there's some nice little bit of housing, new housing here. Right behind us is some condos. I think these are apartments. And there's a lot of new revitalization happening in Roosevelt Row, and it's been happening since probably the 90s. They've been trying to build up the area. Yeah. These green bikes, you see the meters on the back and whatnot. The idea is that you can rent them. There's, I think, 4 companies in the valley that do it. And it's gotten to the point that people are leaving them all over the joint, including in Tempe Town Lake. So there's a lot of legislation starting to happen because of the fact that it's almost a blight on the communities now. Even though it's a great idea, rent a bike, leave it where you go, pay for that time. They're just being abused. So if you see these, that's what they are. That dude's just driving around. That's that same blue chip wearing his Southern Cross. All right, there you go, guys. That was Roosevelt Row. Last one that we got over there is the credit union. And again, murals abound, so be aware of that. You know the drill. Subscribe, share, like. Put those comments down below. Let me know where you want me to go. And stay tuned for the next video. Otherwise, take care.